Hello, you're watching News9 Live. The contentious film called The Kerala Story. Now the Prime Minister has finally spoken on it. Narendra Modi endorses the contentious film. The Prime Minister is campaigning in Karnataka's Bellary, rather he just finished, and mentioned the film in his speech, alleging that the Congress is trying to oppose the film and support terror elements.
कुछ वर्षों में आतंक का एक और स्वरूप, भयानक स्वरूप पैदा हो गया है। स्नेहतिरे, बम, बंदूक और पिस्तौल की आवाज तो सुनाई देती है, लेकिन समाज को भीतर से खोखला करने की आतंकी साजिश की कोई आवाज नहीं होती। कोर्ट तक ने आतंक के इस स्वरूप पर चिंता जताई है। ऐसी ही आतंकी साजिश पर बनी फिल्म केरला स्टोरी, ये केरला स्टोरी की इन दिनों काफी चर्चा है। कहते हैं केरला स्टोरी सिर्फ एक राज्य में हुई आतंकवादियों की छद्म नीतियों की साजिशों पर आधारित है। देश का इतना खूबसूरत राज्य, जहां के लोग इतने परिश्रमी और प्रतिभाशाली होते हैं, उस केरला के में चल रही आतंकी साजिश का खुलासा ये केरला स्टोरी फिल्म में, केरला फाइल्स फिल्म में उसे किया गया है। और देश का दुर्भाग्य देखिए कि कांग्रेस आज समाज को तहस नहस करने वाली इस आतंकी प्रवृत्ति के साथ खड़ी हुई नजर आ रही है। इतना ही नहीं, ऐसी आतंकी प्रवृत्ति वालों से कांग्रेस पिछले दरवाजे से राजनीतिक सौदेबाजी तक कर रही है। कर्नाटका के लोगों को इसलिए कांग्रेस से बहुत ही सावधान रहने की जरूरत है।
बंधु भगिनियरे, ಇವತ್ತು
And to speak more on this, I'm being joined by Baswaraj Itnal, who is a senior journalist, Professor Chambi Puranik, senior political analyst, and Bhaskar Hegde, who's editor of TV9 Kannada Digital. In the studio with me, Varghese, my colleague. Varghese, do you think that some people are asking, it's all over Twitter, that is it even an issue in Karnataka elections to speak about the Kerala story?
Well, if you look at how the Prime Minister has in fact raised that issue, issues about how there have been certain cases regarding the death of right-wing activists, and it has been traced to certain organizations in the north of Kerala. So that's why when we had Amit Shah, he said that the border there is Kerala, and he tried to in fact say nothing more. So for your security, vote for us, is that what he was hinting at. So this has an echo in Karnataka because some of those cases have been traced to PFI activists or SDPI activists, or it has been traced to them. Some of them have been accused in it. Some of them have been acquitted. Some of them have been convicted. So some of the cases are still going on. So because of that factor, in an electoral role, this has some kind of evocation that has been done, and looks like that film has come in handy for the Prime Minister when he's campaigning in Karnataka as well. Right.
Baswaraj Itnal, if I can get you, Dr. Itnal, in this, considering you're also interested in cinema, I mean, that's what I have read about you, correct me if I'm wrong. Dr. Itnal, I want to ask you that the film, this is very important because evoking a film which is based in Kerala, it's not a Malayalam film only, but the point is, do you think that it adds to the entire image of the BJP as being more nationalistic, patriotic, call you what you may, when it comes to the Congress?
No, I have not seen the Kerala story. Today only it has released. But whatever, whether the film is good, bad, or it's hard hitting or superficial, all that credit or discredit should go to the filmmakers, not to any political party. But since such is the narrative of BJP that they want to, paint opposition as some dispensation that supports actively terror activities, whereas they are the saviors. That's a narrative, and probably that suits in the context of because neighboring areas of Karnataka, adjacent to Kerala, is Mangalore and all close to Karnataka. There, the lots of communal experiments keep happening, and a recent mention of Congress to ban Bajrang Bali has just played into their classic playbook. So BJP will use all that is available at their disposal to paint Congress as a terror supporting organization, or at least somebody, a political party which is very lax about terror activities. Number one. Number two, coming to cinema and the BJP's connection. A film like Kashmir Files was actively used to further BJP's communication plan.
Okay.
Some people call it propaganda. They actually used it. So Congress is not, I don't know what they're doing to counter that. Sometimes it amazes me that how Congress fails every time to build its own narrative, and when things were going very well for Congress, they unnecessarily had to mention this Bajrang Bali and hence divert the entire debate elsewhere. So these are the pitfalls of both the Congress, while the BJP is gleefully using it.
Right. Professor Chambi Puranik, welcome to the show, Professor. Professor, the thing is that what Dr. Itnal said, that, they used Kashmir Files earlier, and he wonders what the Congress is doing. I mean, the context is cinema, but in a different context. But, in the 70s, if you remember, the Congress, Indira Gandhi got a film called Andhi Band because it was loosely based on her character. A film which was directed by Gulzar and, starred Suchitra Sen. And there was so much of brouhaha about it, particularly one song which showed which spoke about the corruption of politicians. So the Congress is not like, it has a holier than thou attitude. Now I want to ask you something. It's a very clever thing because Karnataka shares its borders, its porous borders with Kerala, and like my colleague Verghese was saying, you can trace back a lot of it to the neighboring state, that is Kerala. So do you think that it is, by saying that because Congress is opposing it, Congress opposed it, let me tell you also, you must know, on the 32,000 figure, Dr. Tharoor said that prove it, I will pay you 1 crore, because it's not so many girls who went there, much less in number. They were speaking on facts, but somewhere do you think they've lost the battle? Because today when the Prime Minister spoke, it seems as if Congress supports terrorism.
Yeah, thanks to Mr. Etnal, for having mentioned Kashmir File. I wanted to refer to that, but anyhow, in continuation with Congress, Kashmir Files and Kerala story, I think Jagdish Tharoor, in a very intelligent and camouflaged way, though it is very escapist also, he said, it is your Kerala story, it is not my Kerala story. So you look at the kind of, very meek and very, you can say, not so aggressive, which Congress is known for, in countering the kind of evidence that the Kerala story film has brought out. It could be true also because as a neighbor of Kerala and also familiar with the coastal Karnataka problems of girls, so-called love jihad, etc., etc. These are cases. Let it be 1 or 30,000, which the Kerala story tells. Whatever it is, the matter has to be, shown artistically, and then the emotional kind of appeal it has. And I'm sure Prime Minister, as a strategist, I can't, counter the kind of things that coming from Prime Minister Modi, definitely it will have some kind of influence on the voters of Karnataka. I don't think he would have said just like that, because he forgot the blame on Lingayat or dividing Lingayats like that, which Congress was. Then Bajrang Dal, the Prime Minister also, though
Right.
perhaps he could have restrained. He said Bajrang Dal ki jai. So emotionally and politically, Prime Minister is also, trying to use the campaigns and the kind of whatever platforms to attack Congress and corner them and tell them, look, these are the people who are trying to protect such terrorists or jihadis or people who just, go ahead with this kind of religious conversion through marriage, love, etc., etc. So I think, Prime Minister has given a very strong kind of message to the people of Karnataka, especially the port of Karnataka, where they are already perhaps polarized. But his total appeal to Karnataka people, perhaps it may also make the people to think also. But already people have forgotten that snake versus poisonous lady, that Vishakanya and all that. Same thing, Bajrang Dal, people are
Right.
forgetting. And I don't know how long it will sustain till 10th of May. That is also important. But already the polarized votes are there. Perhaps they are trying to protect them and not to give or fall into the swing voters of 5 to 6% or 7%, which is going to make a very decisive impact on the.
Yeah, but so all said and done, what I've heard from Dr. Itnal, I'll go to Bhaskar in a bit, but whatever I've heard so far, and Varghese, it's very clear it's a masterstroke. In the sense that by evoking a film, which is the Kerala story, it's not the Karnataka story or the Tamil Nadu story, Modi has been able to kind of once again prove that what he says has a massive impact on the electorate of any state. Let's listen to what Modi said once again, and I'll come back to Bhaskar.
बीते कुछ वर्षों में आतंक का एक और स्वरूप, भयानक स्वरूप पैदा हो गया है। स्नेहतिरे, बम, बंदूक और पिस्तौल की आवाज तो सुनाई देती है, लेकिन समाज को भीतर से खोखला करने की आतंकी साजिश की कोई आवाज नहीं होती। कोर्ट तक ने आतंक के इस स्वरूप पर चिंता जताई है। ऐसी ही आतंकी साजिश पर बनी फिल्म केरला स्टोरी, ये केरला स्टोरी की इन दिनों काफी चर्चा है। कहते हैं केरला स्टोरी सिर्फ एक राज्य में हुई आतंकवादियों की छद्म नीतियों की साजिशों पर आधारित है। देश का इतना खूबसूरत राज्य, जहां के लोग इतने परिश्रमी और प्रतिभाशाली होते हैं, उस केरला के में चल रही आतंकी साजिश का खुलासा ये केरला स्टोरी फिल्म में, केरला फाइल्स फिल्म में उसे किया गया है। और देश का दुर्भाग्य देखिए कि कांग्रेस आज समाज को तहस नहस करने वाली इस आतंकी प्रवृत्ति के साथ खड़ी हुई नजर आ रही है। इतना ही नहीं, ऐसी आतंकी प्रवृत्ति वालों से कांग्रेस पिछले दरवाजे से राजनीतिक सौदेबाजी तक कर रही है। कर्नाटका के लोगों को इसलिए कांग्रेस से बहुत ही सावधान रहने की जरूरत है।
बंधु भगिनियरे, ಇವತ್ತು
Let me now go to my colleague Bhaskar Hegde, who's editor of TV9 Kannada. Bhaskar, a very, very clever ploy, I would say a master stroke Because before you, Dr. Itnal and Professor Puranik, both of them said, you know, words to the effect that this will have an impact on an already polarized electorate. How do you look at it, Bhaskar?
Sudha, I think everything is fair in love and war. People say, I think everything is fair in election. See, the politicians always do this. See, we have to see this particular thing from a politician's perspective. I think before taking a moral high stand or for seeing this particular issue from the moral prism. Why PM Modi has spoken about this particular issue today and now at this last moment. There are three aspects which I noticed. Number one, when politicians from Kerala opposed Kerala story, so obviously CPM and Congress opposed this. So it's a kind of given a very good issue to Prime Minister Modi and BJP that to extend this logic, when you oppose a film basically on terrorism and conversion and particularly the IS activities, basically you are sympathizing with that particular movement or organizations. That's why he's saying Congress is with these particular groups or sympathizing with these groups. This is very crucial. Now, why this is very important in Karnataka? Karnataka, as you rightly mentioned, Karnataka shares a border with Kerala, and see, there are two districts, Udupi and Dakshini Kannada. They have a issue like hijab issue, where this is a very, very major emotive issue, and this particular hijab issue not only originated in Udupi and resonated in entire Karnataka at one point in time. I think by mentioning this, see, one more point he mentioned very, very interestingly, he mentioned about Congress having some kind of tacit understanding with these forces. So very subtly he said that is SDPI, Social Democratic Party of India, which is a kind of social arm of PFI. So the local rumor, the allegation from the BJP is that Congress is having a tacit understanding with this particular group in many places in Karnataka. That is why one is hijab. From extending this particular issue, CM wants to send home a message that hijab issue is taking a different shape when Congress is supporting these people, number one. Number two, locally, Congress is having a tacit understanding with one particular group. That's another message that he's saying Congress is with some kind of groups alleged to be involved in terror activities. Finally, the last point I want to make. So, okay, if we see from a public point of view, it looks like not a good strategy, or Prime Minister should not have spoken this because he's Prime Minister, Modi is Prime Minister. From the Prime Minister's seat, he should not speak like this. But if you see why Prime Minister pick up this issue, my point is since yesterday, Congress has been giving advertisements in newspapers about 40% commission, okay? And the entire ad, full page ad on newspaper is basically a negative campaign from the Congress, which was unsubstantiated. It's almost like raving and ranting, okay? For instance, today, the advertisement says, for Chief Minister's post, 2,500 crore, Cabinet Minister post, 500 crore. So people will laugh at Congress. People will not buy this kind of negative campaign from Congress party. So obviously by evening, Congress party media department will try to pick this issue to counter Modi, and Modi will come back to hit them. You see your fate, and you issued advertisements speaking all this kind of nonsense, which is unsubstantiated and whatever. So I also come back and speak the same language, what you are speaking. I think that is a strategy that PM adopted.
Right. You know, Dr. Itnal, but if you compare the two things, as in, you know, the advertisements placed by the Congress are talking about corruption. Corruption is an issue, but it is no issue is greater than our gods. That's how this country works. You know, one has understood this. I mean, no more can we say to each other, you worship so and so God, keep it in your house. No. It is a public issue, it's an issue of national importance. Whom are you worshipping? Why? Which day? Why are you not worshipping any other god? So on and so forth. One has to respect that. That is how it actually unfolds. But if you look at it as electoral strategy, don't you think that the BJP has really aced it when it comes to, let's say, pay CM, pay Prime Minister, as against that what Bhaskar was just saying, long big ads, as against what he just said. Don't you think that the BJP is on a stronger wicket?
Two, three things. Congress had been campaigning against the government on the lines of corruption and their stand on the various communal issues. That is an ongoing process. Right from PCM days till now, they are continuing that. And since the polling is quite around the corner, they would amplify their campaign. That's one thing. Number two, as far as this having a huge impact on electoral results, I don't think it will have a very dramatic impact. Both this Bajrang Bali issue or whatever the Prime Minister is talking about, this Kerala story. This will only help the fence-sitters come back to BJP fold, that's all. Because there was a sentiment till last week, many BJP supporters were trying to feel that yes, maybe this time around there should be a change because of Lingayat factor, because of this price rise, because of unemployment, because of 40%, whatever. All the reasons put together, some total mood was that. And that, this kind of emotional arguments like this Bajrang people, Bolo Jai Bajrang Bali and then press button, and all this kind of rhetoric will only consolidate their own vote base. This is not going to make a non-BJP voter vote for BJP.
Right.
This will not do that.
Yeah. Sure.
And as far as the BJP and their own strategy is concerned about cinema and films making a point, every party has skeletons in the cupboard. For example, what was the entire fringe element doing during Padmavat? Why was Padmavat being attacked, director and the cinema? And what recently? What about BBC documentary?
Right.
I mean, see what. Something that suits you, you amplify that. Something doesn't, you ban it. You don't even allow it to exist. And as far as caliphate and as far as this ISIS thing is concerned, 2 years ago there was a beautiful web series on Netflix called Caliphate, which unabashedly attacks Islam's terror.
True.
See, only because somebody is opposing a film in a political context does not make or slight the importance of terrorism being the global problem. It is.
Yeah, but then BJP has this talent. You yourself said, no, Dr. Itnal, that they have the talent of amplifying issues like this.
Yes.
Now, Kashmir Files is set in Kashmir, part of our country, beautiful paradise. But look at it, it was being discussed in Kanyakumari also that we should all go and see the film. Modi ji has said. So it became a national duty that it's like 15th August or 26th of January when all of us sit in front of our TVs and sing our national anthem. Similarly, Kashmir Files became the most important duty of every Indian. That's what the BJP can do. Let me now go to the next section of this. You would have thought Bharat Mata Ki Jai or Jai Hind, that was the only way that you actually finished a rally. Incorrect. It's now very different in Karnataka. Listen in.
Bajrang Bali ki, Bajrang Bali ki, Anjaneya Swami ki, Anjaneya Swami ki.
Anjaneya Swami, that's how most of us in the south refer to Hanuman. Now, at the last leg of the campaigning for the Karnataka Assembly elections, political parties seem to have focused their peg on Lord Hanumana or Anjaneya as we call it. Bajrang has taken the centre stage, be it Congress considering a ban on Bajrang Dal or the Prime Minister invoking Bajrang Bali in every speech and rally. You just heard him. The Prime Minister, of course, was in Bellary. He is in Bellary. He was addressing the public. Let's listen in to what all Narendra Modi had to say. इतना देर बाद क्यों काट
वंदे 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 दोनों हाथ ऊपर करके मेरे साथ बोलिए बजरंग बली की बजरंग बली की बजरंग बली की भारत माता की वंदे 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 वंदे
So many Vandes, I tell you. The thing is that the fact of the matter is that initially a lot of cynics would have said, what has Bajrang got to do with Karnataka? I mean, let's talk about corruption, let's talk about potholes, let's talk about the alleged death of a contractor, let's talk about hijab, you know. No one is wanting to talk about so many colleges and schools have shut down there. It's an economic problem, it's a social problem. But no, Hanuman has taken over, as in he will dispose as to who will actually perhaps win the elections in Karnataka this time around. Let me go to Bhaskar, my colleague. Bhaskar, the importance of Bajrang Bali, as it were, because if you look at it, we'll come to what the Congress thinks about the Bajrang, because they've had a survey as well and they negate it. They say only 7% believe that it's going to be impactful. But tell me, Bhaskar Hegde, don't you think since this entire Bajrang Dal and BJP invoking Anjaneya started, the tide has changed?
Sudha, there are 2 points. About Congress's survey, they are not disclosed the sample size, number 1, the methodology they have adopted. So that's why there is a big question mark about Congress survey about Bajrang Dal. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Coming back to this particular issue, so why PM raised this Bajrang issue or Hanuman issue in Ballari? There is an important, very interesting thing. I don't know whether you know this. There is a dispute going on between Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka about the birth of Hanumana. And the place Karnatakas and Kannadigas, and particularly the people from West Karnataka and the Northwest Karnataka, they think Hanuman born in Hampi. There is a place, I forgot the name, near Hampi. Okay, so that is why this Ballari is a very close place to Hampi, and this particular message, believe me, this particular message will certainly caters to the voters of this particular ring. Those who believe Hanuman took birth in Karnataka, and this particular story goes around, and PM basically resonated, amplified this particular aspect to further BJP's ideas in this election.
So the thing is that, you know, TV9 Kannada, you know, it undertook a survey. But in that, what is very clear is from April to May, things have changed. And I'm only speaking in the context of Anjaneya, right? In that, it is very clear that the respondents, 54% think that the Bajrang Dal controversy will impact the Congress party.
Sudha, I think what you mentioned is might be right. Because see, there are 2 reasons to cross-check this, the way Congress reacted to this. Because yesterday, KPCC President D.K. Shivkumar went to a Hanuman temple. Then he said, if we came to power, we will certainly revive many of the Hanuman temples which are in shambles. All those kind of statements he made. And Veerappa Moily said, Bajrang Dal, ban of Bajrang Dal is not in our scheme of things. Jagdish Shettar said only a central government can ban any organization per se. So there is a lot of confusion among Congress leaders, and they have pressed a kind of panic button, I think. So what you said is right. The mood, particularly this Bajrang Dal issue and the Congress reaction, might have added some kind of leverage to BJP to increase its, kind of final tally, I think.
Right. I think the moot word is confusion, you know, and I'll go to Professor Puranik. Professor Puranik, suddenly to say we are the Congress party, we respect Bajrang Bali, we are going to set up a committee, you know, there are so many temples, does the BJP even know so many temples of Anjaneya? It is, I think, very messy now. First you talk about Bajrang Dal, then you jump much like Lord Hanumana, you are jumping. Why do it? I think Congress, when it comes to Bajrang Bali, Anjaneya or Bajrang Dal, on both these issues, the Congress, like Bhaskar said, is totally confused, Professor.
Definitely, Mr. Bhaskar mentioned about the birthplace of Lord Hanuma between Gangavati and Hampi. That's a place. And that particular thing is still yet to be decided. I think, as long as Karnataka is concerned, the people of Karnataka have a lot of reverence for Lord Hanuma. And he is also most ardent disciple of
Rama.
Sri Ram. So this attachment, I don't think it is beyond caste or religion kind of impact or influence. So I would say that Prime Minister, being a statesman internationally and also in many of his policies, but he has also the quality of a politician. When he goes to the polls, he has a very intelligent and a very shrewd way of taking up the local issues, the local language, and also connect with the people. And second point, more important, which perhaps we should also tell our viewers, is that there is Mr. Janardhan Reddy, who has rebelled against BJP and he has started his own Karnataka Rajya Pragati Paksha and all that. So that kind of place, it needs a kind of advantage or kind of mobilizing greater support for BJP in that area, because if you lose 4-5 seats in that region, that is Bellary region, or which is something like the Kalyana Karnataka edge point, which connects with the Mysore, larger Mysore and all that. So Bellary is a very important place, and he knows that is where from Indira Gandhi was elected, and also many of the leaders who came there, they met Mr. Janardhan Reddy and took his whatever support those days. Now he is also alienated. That's okay. But this particular point of using Hanuman in that area, I think it's a very strategic move, and also it has some kind of advantage for BJP to justify its position of attacking Congress, saying that look, Congress is insulting Hanuman, but here are the party that protects them, and we are going to build temples here and there and all. But Congress also is under defensive move, because it's not in a position, as he said, Mr. Moili is coming to defend that, and Shivkumar going to temples.
Exactly.
He says, I am a greater devotee of Hanuman. He says, people don't believe that kind of clarification, justification by Congress. They would say, all said and done, BJP is a party for Hindutva, and more so for Hindu deities and idols and gods, goddesses. So therefore, people will certainly say, here is a party which will protect them after the elections, apart from development and other whatever programs or policies you have for 5 years as a elected government, any government for that. So BJP also has a kind of assurance, double engine advantage, local issues and also emotional issues. So both Hindutva and development, Mr. Modi is very intelligently and in an emotional way, he tries to connect with people, saying that you repeat what I say, Jai, 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 like that. That itself, I don't think any other Prime Minister has done in so many ways and so many times.
Exactly.
Coming 6 or 8 times in Karnataka. I think it has definitely some advantage to BJP. I don't know how far the people, the voters will decide on 10th of May. But still, it has an edge over Congress, which has become very weak after making these two blunders of self-goal, that is attacking Hanuman and also saying that we will ban Bajrang Dal, and that kind of equation with the PFI, which is an internationally supported, funded terrorist organization. Third thing is, I must also mention you that SDPI earlier said we are contesting 124 constituencies. Now they have reduced it to 16, and they have come out saying that the remaining constituencies we are going to support Congress. So that link, that kind of support, which is camouflaged through SDPI, which has got same kind of supporters from banned PFI. I think these are things that people of Karnataka and the voters will be very vigilant, and they will take it seriously. Whether this is going to be a big issue or not, that's not the point. The emotional kind of issues at the time of polarization, and also keeping the voters aware of these developments and kind of terrorist activities spread across, and also many people who are
Right,
caught
Professor.
from
Right. Professor, the thing is, I like what you said, Professor. You know, you said that Hanuman is a concept, and I think the very idea of respecting any god belonging to any religion or faith is also part of the secular fabric. After all, there are lots I know who go to Velangani church in Tamil Nadu. We also go to Ajmer Sharif. So I think somewhere the concept of saying Vande and you know, Bajrang Bali ki jai to a large crowd perhaps works. But let's listen to what Smriti Irani also had to say on the issue, and we'll be back.
weight ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ weight ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ
नीतीश कुमार चुनाव ड्रामा कर रहे हैं। इसका सत्ता 60 इयर्स कर्नाटका में था, वो भी मंत्री था, दो बार तीन बार नीतीश कुमार भी मंत्री थे, क्यों नहीं किया? एंड हम राम मंदिर के लिए लड़ रहे थे, उसका नेता कपिल सिब्बल राम मंदिर का खिलाफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लड़ रहे थे। ये कांग्रेस है, इसीलिए कि चुनाव के संदर्भ में ऐसा सब ड्रामा कांग्रेस वाले करते हैं, मंदिर जाते हैं, मंदिर भागते हैं एंड कुमकुम डालते हैं, सब करते हैं, ये पूरा चुनाव ड्रामा है।
ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ದಳದ ಭಕ್ತರು ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಈ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಜನೇಯ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೂಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದಂಥ ಆಂಜನೇಯನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾದಂಥ ಆಂಜನೇಯ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳಿದೆ, ಮುಂದೊಂದು ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅದರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂಥ ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಿಸುತ್ತದೆ.
Already I told in so many occasions that banning any organization is a power of the central union government, not state government. And regarding that issue is concerned, I will discuss with the leaders, Congress leaders in the party forum. And third one, already Veerappa Moily, senior most Congress leader, is ex-CM. He clarified that there is no question of banning of Bajrang Dala. Our party will not ban the Bajrang Dala. He clarified.
ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದೆನೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರುವ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದರ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಂಥ ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನೋಡಿ, ಹೇಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸು ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದು. ಆದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್. ನಾನು ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಆಸ್ ಎ ಲೀಡರ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಟು ಬ್ಯಾನ್ बजरंग।
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी कह रहे हैं कि जब आप वोट डालेंगे तो बजरंग बली का नारा मार के वोट डालना। आप बोलो ये कौन सा सेक्युलरिज्म है? आज क्या हुआ? आज मैं देखा कि कांग्रेस के जो कर्नाटका के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष है डीके, क्या नाम है? हाँ, डीके शिव कुमार, उन्होंने ये बोल दिए कि अगर कांग्रेस सत्ता में आएगी तो हम और हनुमान मंदिर को बनाएंगे। बोलो आप, अगर मैं आज खड़े होकर तकरीर में बोला पूरे कर्नाटका के गरीबों और मजलूमों, तुम 10 तारीख को वोट डालने जाएंगे तो पहले अल्लाह अकबर का नारा लगा के बटन दबाओ।
Throughout the state, all the nationalistic people condemn the subject of Chunavana Pranalika Samiti of Congress. They are condemning the banning of Bajrang Dala throughout the state. All the nationalistic people are condemning this one. D.K. Shivakumar always going to temples. I welcome it because he is also a Hindu. But only because of Muslim votes, they are doing this type of politics. The publics, the Hindu, the Muslim, the Christian, they are all condemning this type of behavior of Congress leaders.
कांग्रेस
कभी राम पर पैसेंजर खड़ा करती है, कभी बजरंग बली को कैद करने की बात करती, प्रतिबंध करने की बात करती है। हिंदुस्तान की जनता कांग्रेस का हिंदू विरोधी चेहरा जान चुकी है और ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति जो कांग्रेस करती है इसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब भी मिलेगा। दूसरा, बजरंग बली का अपमान नहीं सहेगा हिंदुस्तान और मोदी जी को मौत का सौदागर कहना, बिच्छू कहना, जहरीला सांप कहना, नाली का कीड़ा कहना और मोदी तेरी कब्र खोदेगी, इस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग देश के प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ जनता ने पहले भी मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया और वोट की चोट कर्नाटक की जनता भी देगी और कांग्रेस को फिर बाहर ही रखेगी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की फिर सरकार बनेगी।
शिव कुमार जी से बड़ी विनम्रता से कहना चाहती हूँ कि एक तो वो मुख्यमंत्री बन नहीं रहे, इसलिए मंदिर वाला झूठा वादा ना ही करें तो बेहतर है। लेकिन दूसरा मेरा उनसे प्रश्न है कि क्या ऐसा वाक्य कहने से पहले उन्होंने श्रीमती वाड्रा से चेक किया? और मैं ये इसलिए कह रही हूँ क्योंकि 2019 के लोकसभा के अमेठी के चुनाव में मैंने श्रीमती वाड्रा को नमाज अता करते हुए देखा था सड़क पर। अब हम सब जानते हैं कि जो इस्लाम धर्म में विश्वास करते हैं वो मूर्ति के उपासक नहीं हो सकते, मंदिर का निर्माण नहीं कर सकते। तो जब उनकी सर्वे सर्वा मुखिया ही मूर्ति पूजन के विरोध में है, मंदिर के विरोध में है, तो क्या डीके शिव कुमार ऐसा वादा कर सकते हैं? ये कांग्रेस की ही सोच हो सकती है कि हमारे भगवान का नाम लेके कोई डर जाएगा। हनुमान जी का नाम जब लिया जाता है तो विपदा दूर हटती है। भगवान राम का जब नाम लिया जाता है तो सौहार्द की भावना विकसित होती है। कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस नेता का दुस्साहस कैसे हुआ ये कहकर कि बजरंग बली का नाम सुन के लोग डर जाएंगे? भूत पिचास जरूर डर सकते हैं, रावण स्वरूप वाले लोग जरूर डर सकते हैं। ना भक्त डरते हैं ना समुदाय डरता है। श्रीमती वाड्रा बजरंग बली पे, राम प्रभु पे क्यों नहीं साधेंगे निशाना? उनको कब यह आस्था का दृश्य मंजूर था? जो सिर्फ चुनाव के लिए मंदिर मंदिर भटक रहे थे, उनको स्पष्टीकरण देना पड़ा और पड़ेगा कि आप बताएं कि आपका कौन सा दृश्य सही है जनता के सामने। सड़क पर नमाज अता करने वाली श्रीमती वाड्रा सही है कि अब बजरंग बली का नाम से परहेज करने वाली श्रीमती वाड्रा सही है कि डीके शिव कुमार वाला नेतृत्व सही है कि वो मंदिर बनाएंगे? इन तीनों में से सही चित्र और चरित्र क्या है?
Varghese, tell me something, the Kerala story, about which the Prime Minister spoke, and the Bajrang Bali, the entire Bajrang Bali debate, But, a lot of experts said that as we get closer to the elections, it's going to get more and more polarized, as it were. So, if I tell you, wait, which do you think is a larger issue? Do you think the Kerala story spoke about today, spoke in Bellary, which is very, very significant, like Professor said. But don't you think, I feel that the Hanuman factor is really the most important factor as of now?
Well, it could be the most important factor if it sustains till 10th morning. That is the thing, because 1 hour in politics is too great.
Yes.
So, there are issues that are being picked up, and as Etnal was also saying, it would be a factor of trying to consolidate the existing vote. But can you have that vote that is not decided yet go on to your side? That is the challenging aspect of it. So, is this enough to get that undecided votes? Because of course you will be getting the people who have hard, who are prescribing to a hard version of Hindutva.
Right.
That vote is going to consolidate behind you over this. But what about those who were sitting on the fence? Were you able to get them with a Bajrang Dal or a Kerala story? Well, that is a thing that we'll have to wait and watch. And of course, the voters technically undecided until he reaches the booth. So, what will be on the minds of the voters just as he's about to reach the polling booth is something that we'll have to find out. And there are several issues that are there.
Absolutely.
Of course, we have seen the Bajrang, the Anjaneya issue that has been raked up. We've seen the Kerala issue that has been raked up. But the larger question would be is about terrorism that the Prime Minister is trying to rake up. But what about the local issues of Karnataka? That is what the Congress has been harping on. It has been completely eclipsed by these three factors in the last 3 days. So the narrative has changed on that, but it is something that we are harping on. But how the common person on the ground before going to the poll booth is going to decide, well, that is the interesting part of it. And as one of our guests in fact spoke about it also, saying that probably it will be one of the issues, but will it be the issues when he is going to the polling booth?
Exactly. And what Varghese said about, what is going to happen to those who are sitting on the fence? Well, there's a context here. TV9 Kannada conducted a survey to gauge the mood of the voters in the last leg of the poll campaigns. An opinion poll conducted by Karnataka's premier regional channel in the first week of May indicates a definite shift in the sentiment of the electorate in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party, resulting in a substantial increase in seat share that could push the Saffron Party to the brink of securing another term. The BJP is projected to emerge, according to this, as the single largest party, while Congress may actually fall short of the magic number and finish second. Let me go to my guest to speak more on this. First, of course, without doubt, Bhaskar Hegde, who is the editor of TV9 Kannada Digital. Bhaskar, let me ask you that if the shift happens, I mean, there are several factors. Do you think the shift happened also because of Prime Minister Modi's rallies? Somehow, if, and again, it's a survey, you know, so if it has shifted the opinion in 1 month time, do you think it is because of the M factor?
So I think what you said, Mike, is right. Because see, the way Modi packages his poll campaign, he addresses rallies, then he suddenly shifts to road shows, then back to that, there are so many ministers and others coming to meet, you know, the think tank, the colleges and the electorate, all those kind of this packaging of election campaign. I think it might have given us some kind of help edge to BJP. I think this opinion poll reflects that, number one. Number two, to add to what Varghese said, I agree with him. One is the front sitters or the undecided. Undecided is one lot. Yes, no doubt this can certainly may swing the vote. One, front sitters, possibly PM Modi may try to bring them back to the BJP fold. More important, one thing we have to remember, see, BJP was facing a major anti-incumbency. Anti-incumbency means traditionally they were BJP voters, but this time they are upset with BJP. They might be thinking or in a double mind to shift to JDS or Congress. But this particular packaging of campaign from Prime Minister Modi, I think they might bring this particular lot back to BJP.
Right. Let me now go to Dr. Itnal. Dr. Itnal, you know, this kind of, the narrative has now, we all know, you are a snake, I am a Vishkanya, so and so is so and so. It's actually very juvenile, but somehow it works. I mean, because that's what the survey says. The respondents were asked about this entire thing, and they said that yes, it will impact. 51% people felt that this entire, calling Modi names is going to cost Congress very, very dear. How do you respond to that? Because what we hear is, particularly in the flip seats or the swing seats, that it is local and hyper-local issues and candidates who matter. But in this case, will Congress's personal attack on PM Modi yield sympathy votes for the BJP? 51% say yes, Dr. Itnal.
See, this Bajrang Dal issue is definitely a folly of Congress. I'm told, my sources in Congress tell me that word PFI and Bajrang Dal was added just before the manifesto went to print.
All right.
Till the last moment, there was no idea of including that.
Okay.
And I don't know who gave that idea and how come they can come up with this kind of an idea, because law and order is government's job. So you don't have to write it in manifesto that I will maintain law and order. It's a job, it's a duty. And that you don't go out and mention a particular organization representing a religious sentiment in which you have failed already. In communal debates, Congress always lost. So why rake it up unnecessarily? This was a mistake. And yes, as your survey says, there is considerable, reason to, see that this might affect the possibilities of Congress. But at the same time, this connection between Bajrang Dal and, Hanuman, that connection somehow doesn't go really well with lots of people.
Right.
Because Bajrang Dal is different, Lord Hanuman is different.
Yeah.
Somehow these people have mistaken it, and they are spreading this mistaken connection everywhere. And come on, every village in Karnataka may or may not have a Ram temple, but it definitely has a Hanuman temple.
Yeah, right.
Each and every village, however small it is, there has to be a Hanuman temple, because Lord Hanuman is supposed to be the guardian of the village.
Yeah.
That's how this culture treats him. And by no stretch of imagination, Congress or anybody has inserted Lord Hanuman. They are simply talking about an organization called Bajrang Bali,
Right.
which is a youth wing of VHP,
Yeah.
which is a religious extreme wing of RSS. And this is their agenda, their propaganda, and in that I cannot even wrap my head around the fact that Congress can just walk into that trap.
Right, absolutely, because because the word Bajrang later, I mean, the BJP ran away with it, and then, like you said, magnified it into Bajrang Bali or Anjaneya, and there what we have today, even the surveys are now showing. Professor Puranik, the third thing which I found very, very interesting in this survey was that, with some of the top BJP leaders like Shettar and Savadi, they shifting, will it have an impact on the Congress poll prospects? And 48% of the voters said yes. So they said yes. So look at it. It has been shifting the last week of April to the first week of May. A lot of it's on your screens right now. It's changing. But about the Lingayat question, Professor Puranik, what is your comment on this particular data which the survey has thrown up?
Sudha, apart from the flip-flop and the blunders which Congress has been committing the last 1 week or so, I think Congress has definitely, I think it has to face the embarrassment and also the attacks, and also Mr. Jagdish Shettar's and Moili's statement itself shows that there is a divided opinion within the Congress as far as the manifesto, and including this Bajrang Dal to be banned, etc., etc. So that means to say that the Congress has been under pressure to include this to appease the whatever religious sentiments or Muslims. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because JDS has no quarrel with Muslims. They always have a soft corner for Muslims, and JDS is considered as a regional party, a party which always protects Muslims, and as a proof they have CM Ibrahim as its president, and also JDS has given seats for a number of Muslims, whereas BJP has not given any single seat, which of course is understandable, because Ishwarappa said we don't want Muslim votes, so we will win without that, or nationalist Muslims will vote. This kind of statements, immature or foolish statements by both the leaders. But the Congress has committed this blunder. So therefore, the Lingayat factor, still, I would say that the BJP will not be able to get the magic number of 113, because I have been consistently holding the view after talking to people and all that, but definitely BJP is trying to improve it. Such kind of whatever messages from being said by Prime Minister and appealing to the people, sentiments of the people. Hanuman is definitely respected by, like we respect Sai Baba of Shirdi. So like that, people, especially women and elderly people, these are the people who are worried about the future of Karnataka and good governance, etc. And they may think, from among the worst, let us go to the best among the worst. That kind of advantage, I don't think people have choice. There is no choice as far as an ideal political party is concerned. All parties are guilty of these games and gimmicks. So therefore, that's how I look at it.
I think I have to ask the last question to you, Varghese, or else I'll have to go and seek forgiveness of Anjaneya. So I ask you, how come all the issues we've spoken about, where has corruption gone? 40%, Sarkara, all that seems to be buried under all these larger than life, or rather godly issues that we are talking about.
Well, it looks like God requires some kind of protection when it comes to him, from his devotees as well right now, because the devotees are finding it very difficult to express themselves. But interestingly enough, it also speaks about how the narrative has changed in an election.
True.
And also it's become the question about, it's not about any of the regional leaders in BJP anymore. It's about the Prime Minister who has come to Karnataka asking for a chance to develop Karnataka, and at the same time saying that there's an issue about protecting the community at large, and he has raised all these issues, and now it looks like it's Prime Minister Modi versus the Congress rather than the Karnataka BJP versus the Congress in Karnataka.
Right.
It's become a totally different narrative. Interestingly enough, let's see, because as I said earlier, it depends on what the voter thinks when he's going to vote at that time.
You know, Varghese, there was, I mean, away from all this, there was a survey conducted with little children, and they were asked, who's your favorite god? Little children usually speak the truth, and it's very interesting. They all said Lord Hanumana. They just like the good concept of, if I am able to fly and save someone's life. I mean, it's so interesting for them. So let's hope, you know, that Hanumana does something benevolent for the people of Karnataka this time around. I've completely run out of time. Let me thank Bhaskar Hegde, Dr. Itnal, and of course, Professor Puranik for joining us on the debate. Thank you indeed. And for all the news and analysis, as always, keep watching News9 Live.